Hello, welcome everyone, welcome. Please let me know if you can hear me in
Hi.
the chat. Hey Mary, how are you?
Good. It's good to be on. I brought a little Christmas. See, I'm wearing a little bit of Christmas tonight.
Yep.
It's been, it's been a minute.
Yeah, yep. Let me know if you can hear me clear and make sure I'm
I
not
can
coming
hear
out.
you loud and clear.
No distortion, right?
Not that I can hear. I love the Christmas tree in the back.
Yep, that's my tree. Yeah, I think I'm a little too loud on my end. Let me turn
I
it
did
down.
redirect people from my channel over here. I
Alright.
put it in there, so.
Yeah, how y'all been? Hope everyone's doing okay. I know the weather's been really nice this past week. Up in the upper 50s, low 60s. So I've been hitting the trails lately.
Not here. Did you not see, did you were able to see my video on
Yeah,
the other day?
I don't know how you guys enjoy the snow while hurting your eyes.
Well, I don't have the eye problem, so, I don't have what you have.
Right.
But we had the wind. I said to Josh, I said, our whole house is going to lift off. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And he goes, well, that's just, there was some kind of winter storm or something.
Yeah.
It's like of course, I come from Florida. So,
Well, I'm coming from New Mexico, so I know what it feels like.
I was like, my goodness gracious. I thought it was fitting. I was putting the video together for the toilet paper snowman thing, which was dang on cute. And, so I was putting that together, and the wind is blowing, and the snow is coming, and I was like, "My goodness gracious!"
But
It
we're
was like,
expecting snow Monday.
"Go ahead."
We're expecting snow Monday, so that's what everybody's saying.
I don't know when we're supposed to expect snow, but it's been in the 20s, and when the snow was blowing, it was -1.
Right.
I was like, "My goodness!"
Now that is cold, but
Yeah.
here in Colorado, we could get down to the -20s in the winter.
Well, it was 20, but it felt like -1.
Yeah, but the actual temperature there's time we dropped down to the -20s, -24, wind chill -50, like
Well,
Alaska.
I don't remember when we've gone to his family's gathering before. I don't remember it ever snowing. Ever. I said to my husband, I don't remember it ever snowing and getting that cold. I don't remember it ever. And, I'm sure it has, but I was like, I don't remember we coming up here and ever having snow on the ground. I mean, we went into he has the one side of the family for one Christmas
Right.
and then the other side on Saturday. And we went in, and by the time we got back out, the car was covered in snow. I'm like, I don't remember that ever happening where it was snowing. Ever. So it was beautiful, but it was cold.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the snow really hurts my eyes. Like say it burns.
Well, do you wear special glasses when you're out?
Yeah, I wear snow goggles, like the ski goggles. I just bought some recently.
So that is that helping?
Oh yes.
So do it.
Yeah, so that's why I got myself some ski goggles because these are transition, but it's not enough for the snow.
Do what you need to do so that you're not hurting yourself.
Oh yeah, because gosh, with the snow, like once you get exposed to the brightness of the snow, the next day it hurts the most.
Oh, I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
It hurts like crazy, like oh my god, like
Today,
feel
my
like
body was like, nope, you've got to have a nap. You're too sore. We've been doing, I just put the questions in the video, but we've
yeah,
been doing this Celebrate Advent Journal
yeah.
on my channel
How
every
old
day.
how
We're
old is
having,
that book?
it's a devotion. What?
How old is that book?
Um, It's not that old. It's really good. It was printed in Canada from Religion Christian Living. But I'm really enjoying it. And I got it.
Because there's a lot of old books that I like to read, but they're out of print now because it's not available in audio.
Um, 2024, so it's just brand new.
Oh, brand new, so I should be able to download it. I just need the ISBN number.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just been reading it and I've been doing my own commentary on it.
Right.
I haven't gotten any copyright strikes yet for it.
Oh no, you probably won't get copyright claims on the books like that. I don't think so.
Well, it says you're not. Well, I don't know. I don't think you can on books because you're doing your own commentary on it.
Yeah.
And I've put the website in the book for it. But the beautiful, beautiful pictures, and it's giving you something to think about.
Yeah.
You know, it's giving you something to do. So I would strongly suggest, you know, lovely book. It'd make a lovely gift for somebody. I gave one to my daughter, and I think it costs like $10. And just go get a couple and give it to some people. Get it for yourself.
Right.
And I think that what I think for some of the questions that I'm thinking of in it, I think that even next year the questions would be there, but they're going to be different responses.
Right.
Some of them are going to be the same, but some of them are like, no, different things have happened to me that would change the different. But another one that I got that we're going to be doing as a family is one from this, and I won't be doing this on the internet on our channel, but the Marvel and Miracle of Advent. You know, learning and understanding, and it's done by Lisa Harper and Christine Kane.
Right.
Understanding a little bit more about what Advent is.
Yes.
And understanding the history behind it.
Yeah, basically Advent preparing the way for the Christ child. That's what Advent is.
But putting a little bit deeper reflection on it and understanding it, and then realizing that's kind of what the journal is doing, because it's helping you put aside all the busyness.
Yes.
And reflect on what's important.
Like kind of like we need to slow down, you know.
What's slowing down?
No,
I haven't figured that out.
Like we need to slow down in general, you know, like all the hustle and bustle of shopping, all that, like.
I've got one gift that I have got to sit down and do, and every year I say I had the 8 ball, and I never am, and it's Christina's gift, and it's Shutterfly,
right? And
it is a calendar I do for her every year, and so I've got to sit down tomorrow and just knuckle down and finish it, so I can order it. That is the last gift I need to go get. And so other than that, I don't have any other gifts that need to be, you know, taken care of. But I've just been busy with my mom getting things done that needed to be recorded.
Right.
You know, like we were doing a collaboration with Life in the Piedmont. So that one had to be done for the gifts for home. And then the Advent recordings have to be done every day. And so I've been doing that. And then the cookie recipes were another one that I had to be doing, and it was just like, and then there was a little promotion that YouTube was doing for some channels for member only videos, so those two had to get done. So it was just like, and then on top of it, I had 2 blankets that have to be taken to church tomorrow that are orders that are finished that they're taking to a birthday party for the 2 little babies that were gifted for. They had to get done, so it was like, okay, when can I stop? Like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with a German Christmas song.
It's already the 7th. Where did 7 days go? I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
Where did it go so quickly?
I don't know.
When you find it, can you bring it back?
I'll see.
Uh, Beautifully done.
Thank you. That was called Nunca Suenan las Campanas. The bells never sounded clearer.
I've never heard that one before.
It's originally from Germany, brought over to Mexico.
It was like the cookie recipe you did, which I'm going to put in the chat for everybody. Yeah. I had never heard of that song before.
Yeah, but like I try to bring back a lot of traditional Christmas music from around the globe, you know, like Europe and Mexico and South America. Like stuff that's not very common.
But that I chose Judy Garland because that was the one that seemed so fitting. But I thought I had never heard of that song until, you know, you
mentioned it.
Yep. I'll have to try that recipe too.
Now, next one I'm going to play is another traditional Christmas carol from Europe called Star of the East.
Fitting that I dropped the Christmas cookie recipe because that's the one you used. Hello, Sandy. How are you? I just had dinner, Sandy says. Spaghetti squash and meatballs. That sounds good, don't me? I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oops, I ran away.
I haven't gotten the dinner yet done.
Yep.
But that sounds delicious, though, Sandy, though.
I wish there was a way you could actually share food virtually online.
Yes, I wish to. Because
however, they are coming up with the developing something like that out of white sand mid-range. The military develops all this. That's how the smell-o-vision was developed before out of white sands.
well, I think it's pretty cool that I saw it was some kind of feed or something where you get delivered by drone food, they deliver I think it's over in Japan or something like that, and I'm like,
actually, in some parts of the U.S., they're testing.
I think
the
some of
drones.
them are doing it. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
they were doing that during that pandemic. They were testing the drone deliveries by drones, but I guess it doesn't really work out.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting a car that has no driver. Unless Kit's the one driving. No, thank you.
I drive this car like a smart vehicle.
There's something about, I don't know. Like I said, if Kit was driving it, if you've watched Knight Rider, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
But nope, I have no desire to get in one of those cars that.
The autonomous vehicles.
Nope, I'm not there.
That probably won't be for another 50 years from now. Maybe.
I'm waiting for the Jetson era. I wonder if we'll really have that.
Well, the drones are pretty much like from the Jetson era. The drones.
Well, not totally, because it's not like you can. I mean, kind of, but I'm talking about like just picking up your going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but actually, there are some life-size drone where you can actually ride on.
Oh my goodness!
And I've seen those at the Wings Over the Rocky Space Museum.
I'm not riding no drone. No. If I can't control it, nope, it ain't happening.
Well, you control it from the cockpit of the drone.
I could see that maybe.
Yeah, but that's where I first learned how to fly a drone myself. When I first went to when I went to the Wings Over the Rocky Aerospace Museum, I learned for a class from work, and we had to learn we were learning how to fly a drone. They said, man, can't believe the first blind man to ever fly a drone, and did it successfully.
Well, the fact that you did it good job.
Yeah. But you just start off slowly, and all the other kids, they just yank up the remote all the way, like crank it all the way, instantly.
But you do it your own speed.
Yeah. You just start slowly,
Yep, I have never flown a drone yet. I haven't gotten that. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, like.
They're also very expensive.
Well, the starter ones, they're like $30, $40, $60. The starter
That's
ones.
not too bad.
Yeah, but the expensive one you're talking about, they're like about the one professionals uses, like the commercial drone. Yeah, those like around $1,000, because that's like for videos, aero photography, and all that.
We had one for the videographer used one for Christina's wedding.
Yeah.
And she had the drone.
Wow. Did you guys buy it or?
No, it was part of the package.
Oh wow.
I paid him enough.
Wow, it was part of the package. Wow, that.
Oh, I made it very clear,
Yeah.
because I had my dad dance with me, and of course he's not here on my wedding video, and I just said, because my son-in-law wasn't all about that, and I said, well, guess what? That's not up for debate. It's happening. And my daughter wanted it too. She wanted to have, her whole wedding on video so that she had it and saved it and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, that's not up for debate.
Right.
So it was just something we wanted to make sure happened, and it did. And it's very special memories to look back on.
Yeah,
and
video
see
production, that could get very expensive. I could tell you that. Video production, it could get very expensive. The equipment,
Of course.
the camera, and then the editing software. That's the most expensive part. Like the time it takes to edit and post production.
Well, like when she came out, because Josh didn't see her in her wedding dress before he didn't know what her wedding dress looked like. He didn't want to see it till she was coming out. And we have the most precious, memory, because it's on video. And, not that it couldn't have been done by somebody just taking a what is it? Not a selfie, but using your phone camera, but it wouldn't have been the same.
No, it's not the
Quality
same.
wouldn't have been there.
No, it's not the same. You use either like a professional video camera or a DSLR camera. Like I have a SLR camera too. for
And
professional photography. You know, my camera was $800.
I remember saying to, or Josh saying to me, he said, "I'm not going to cry." Cried like a baby when she came. He
Yeah,
said, "I'm not going to cry. I tried really hard not to cry." And you see him in the video, and he is just, the minute he sees his baby girl all grown up, he
yeah,
just lost it. And it was like, see, I told you. But we have that, and we have her first dance. And
yeah,
like, if I want to see myself dancing with my dad again, I can look at the video camera. And then our videographer for our wedding took everybody, right, and lined them up. We had enough for the groomsmen, my
yeah.
father-in-law, who's no longer with us, my dad, who's no longer with us, all lined up, and they did the YMCA. And it
Wow.
is a riot. And you can hear Christina absolutely laughing in hysterics in the
Yeah,
background. And
yeah.
it's
Because
like,
you know, for the video and then for the sound, you have to get a audio feed into the camera
yeah,
from the whatever the music coming from. You have to get it from the front get an audio feed from the mixing console into the camera.
yeah. So I'm so glad we have that. And people don't realize how precious that is, but if you're going to have a wedding and you're going to spend all that money on it,
Yeah,
invest in having those, because when they're gone, they're gone.
yeah.
You're not going to have them again.
I know.
So I'm so glad that I have them. They're precious.
Actually, you know what I found the other day? I was kind of putting away stuff, putting on my Christmas stuff, and I found a DVD video of when I went on that train ride in Durango.
Oh, wow. That probably is really cool.
Yeah, that's the video I shot myself when I went with my mom and dad, and I got pictures and all that.
You should probably try to download it.
It's on my channel as well.
It's on your channel.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's there so people can go look at it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna play you another Christmas song. I think you all know this one.
And just so Sandy says that's fabulous, Alfonso.
Thank you.
And I can only stay on till 11 because
That's fine.
I have to go eat something. And I have to finish this video that has to get up
Right.
and done. So I've got a video that has to. There was a special promotion that YouTube was doing for certain content creators. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna turn that one down.
Right.
So it's by invitation only. So if you're a channel, go check your email. You may get it.
Right.
But too, just a way of a little. We'll probably do that. Just thank our members every year and just do 2 members only video. I don't like to do members only videos because I want everybody to participate. I don't want to get everybody out.
Right.
Just a little way to say thank you. Oh, God.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to play is Toda Hermosa es María.
Beautifully done, Alfonso.
Thank you.
Hi, Stitching It Up. How you doing?
Yeah, that song's from Mexico. And played in the Spanish church as well. Now, my question to you, is it just the Catholic that have liturgy season like Advent, Lent, and Easter and Christmas, or is it just only the Catholics?
No, we have Advent. Now, I it was celebrated more in that I remember in our church in Florida
Yeah,
because we were it was more Presbyterian.
right,
Then I think Baptists tend to celebrate it.
right. Because the Baptists don't have they don't go by the liturgical calendar.
But we celebrate Easter.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Because I heard that churches are doing away with the crucifixion. There are some churches that are doing away with the Lent and all that.
Well, how can you? Baby Jesus had to be born and
Yeah.
live among us in order
Yeah.
to die on the cross for our sins. You
Yeah.
can't take that out.
Yeah.
Sorry, it doesn't make the story isn't finished.
Yeah.
Then there's no hope for us to be redeemed and live
Yeah.
in.
But
in eternity with heaven.
you know how like Easter falls on always sometimes falls in March or April. There's no fixed date for Easter. Like Christmas.
No, I mean it falls. I mean Greek Easter is celebrated at a different time.
Greek Easter.
Greek Easter is celebrated at a different time.
Oh, it's celebrated at a different time than we do, right?
Yes.
So they have a fixed date for it, right?
It's not a fixed date. I can't. I don't think it's a fixed date, but I know they celebrated it at a different time
Right.
than we do. I thought Thanksgiving was late this year. In my estimate.
Well, Thanksgiving's always on the third Thursday of November.
I know it just seems so late this year. I don't know why. It seemed late.
Yeah, but I remember last year, Lent came too soon. You know,
See, I
like
don't do
Easter
Lent.
fell in March,
I don't do Lent.
and
I don't really celebrate that. But if
And-
that's a Catholic thing, then I'm not going to.
right.
Not
But here's the thing. Here from my experience, because let me tell you, 1 year and back in 2005, we had a priest from Mexico who was giving the sermons and all that, and it was around Lent, and he did not like that Christmas that Lent fell too soon. That Easter was falling in March.
Was it Catholic? Was he Catholic?
Yeah.
See,
Because
I don't.
it appears to him that Christ was barely born, and then you take him the next day to get crucified. That's what it seemed to him.
I don't know too much about the Catholic faith.
Yeah.
I remember I had a lady, a friend of mine, who was like a grandmother to me.
Yeah.
And she had children. Her two children were not going to have children, and one of her children was mentally ill and couldn't. And I remember going to Memphis. We were actually during Elvis Week, and the Catholic church there had like a little something or service or whatever or something like that during Elvis Week. And we went to the church, and I didn't think anything of it because, the stage at our church in Coral Springs, Florida. I mean, you got on the stage. There was no special thing about it.
Right.
And I just took one step, not knowing anything. I took one step on the step, and she looked at me. She goes, "You can't do that." And I'm like, "Why? It's a stage. It's not anything special. Jesus hasn't walked on the stage." I mean, she about lit me from one side to the other because I took one step. She goes, "You're not supposed to do that." I'm like, "Well, how the heck am I supposed to know that?"
Wow.
And I remember she telling me one time when I tried to witness to her, and I hope she finally did, get the truth. Um, hold on a second, Alfonso. Go ahead and play. I have to answer this.
Okay. I'm gonna play Pastores Avelin. All right, that was Pastores Avelin, traditional Mexican Christmas song. Pastores. Let me see, the next one is next one I'm going to do is Centennial Polka from New Mexico. Right, that was the New Mexico, the Centennial Polka. Now I'm going to present an old classic by Alfonso and the Clones. An old video from right, so here's an
Sorry, I had a little mommy emergency.
I hope everything's okay.
And she is not too happy with mommy right now.
Wow.
She called me up. They were at, I don't know if you've ever heard of something called Reverb, but her husband and her have been up all night. She's still getting over a cold. She's supposed to sing at church tomorrow, but she can't because she's all hoarse. And she thought she'd pull out her flute that she hasn't played for a while.
Right.
So she said, Mom, I need you to listen to this. So I'm like, okay. And I'm listening going, I'm hearing flats. And I'm like, okay, there's a flat going on somewhere. Not you. It was her. So I was making the faces. And so she said to me, so what's your honest opinion after she tried playing it again? And I said, I think you need more practice. She goes, I don't like you right now. I said, well, you don't have to like me, but I'm going to tell you the truth.
I'm going to present an old classic right here.
Anybody has any requests in the chat, go ahead and put them in the chat. We have about we'll probably be here till about 11 o'clock. And if Alfonso wants to stay on longer, he can, but I have to get some things done.
Yeah, it's not letting me present. Right. Now I'm going to do a Mexican church song. It's very popular around Christmas time. Called De Colores. In English means all of colors. Some of them I grew up in elementary school singing this song. It used to be sung in elementary schools throughout the year. But, in the church it is played around Christmas time and also throughout the year as well.
Great job.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the most popular Mexican folk songs. The song that's mostly sung in the churches now. I don't think it's not played in the schools anymore. Because that was a popular children's song, but I don't think it's not played in the schools.
never heard it. Beautiful, but I've never heard it.
Yeah. It's mostly sung in the Spanish church, you know. Because in the Spanish Catholics, from my experience, growing up, the American Catholics is not the same as the Hispanics. The American Catholics is more in line with the Protestant Reformation. That they don't have the same beliefs as the Hispanics do.
I don't know, because I've not been too immersed in it.
Yeah, the American Catholics more in line with Baptists, more with the American Christian.
Well, not totally either, because they still believe. I mean, when you go, they sit there and they say that they believe that the wine and the bread that they use for confession is true. I mean, it's actually God's body and God's,
Yeah.
you know, and so that's not what the Baptists believe. So they have a lot more in the sense of, you know, not that Mary doesn't need to be lifted up in a special way, but
Right.
you know, from what I'm not too familiar with it, but you know, in order to go to, you know, it's like my friend said, and her name was Gail.
Yeah.
And I miss her. It was like, you know, she believed in not Pentecost, purgatory.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, we don't believe in that. We go one way or the other way. There's nothing in the middle.
Right.
And I remember saying that to her, and she said, "Oh, you're going right." No, I'm not. I know where I'm going. But so there's fundamental beliefs, very, very different. You can't sit there and say that Catholics are anything like Presbyterians or as far as their beliefs, because even to some degree, the way that they interpret the Bible is different.
Right.
So,
because you know, even the Spanish version, the Spanish heritage, the Bible's way different because they add more to it.
you know, I just say to people, the Bible is accurate from one page to the next. There's something that needed to be added or taken away.
Right.
And if you're going to read it, you better, you know, and sit down and believe it. You can't sit here and say, well, I believe everything in the Bible, but I don't agree with that. That don't work like that.
Right.
You know, we have things in this country that I, as a Christian walking with the Bible, do not agree with. It does not give me the right to be hateful.
Right. But, you know, I think it has to do a lot with culture, you know.
To some degree, I would agree with that. But where it gets to me, it's like, well, if you want to know about this subject or this topic, just go look at the Bible. It's your moral compass.
Yeah.
We don't, as Christians, have to get the right to sit there and say, well, God, you know, that thing was written how many years ago? And, well, I just don't believe that. No. But it doesn't mean that we need to be full of hate.
Right.
We need to be full of love in how we communicate things to people. And realize people stumble and people fall.
Right.
And we need to have compassion about certain things. But just because, you know, do I stop loving people because they're living a lifestyle I don't agree with? No.
No.
But there's churches and people that is like, well, that part is something we don't agree with, so we're just going to exclude that or take it out or change it around. No, you all don't get to do that.
Right.
You either agree with it or don't. That's
Right.
fine. I could have, but I could sit there and say I don't like that part of it, but I can't change it. God's written and said this is it.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what a certain factor is, you better look in there. And if he's telling you this is it, you
That's
don't get
it.
to determine it.
No.
It doesn't mean that we need to hit anybody over the head with the Bible either.
Right. But my experience growing up, I think the last 20 years ago, I've been playing the choir and stuff like that, and then until around 2011, when I got thrown out of my choir in Holy Cross in New Mexico because of my blindness. But I had so many issues in my last choir, and I tell you, from my experience, I had one lady who yelled at me, big time. And she was very close to slapping me on the wrist, just because I was walking too fast without a sighted guide.
That's all right. I'm going to put this. Go ahead.
And it makes me wonder: is it ever okay, just because someone's older than you, like to slap? Is it
No.
ever okay to slap someone on the wrist,
No.
someone who's younger than you, just
No.
because you're like what, 60, 70 years old?
My so many earrings are shaking at you. No. No.
Not okay, right?
The only one I could do that with a little bit is my daughter, but outside of that, no. If it's not your child or your person, then don't do it. But for instance, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, and I'm not going to go into detail about either one, and I'm
Right.
not going to sit here and lecture either one,
Right.
but I have my views personally on that, which way I go. And if you want to go to the Bible and look at it, it's right there.
Right.
But I have a certain compassion for women in those circumstances and situation because I was there.
Right.
I had to walk that path. I know that's what that's like to even having to even consider it for even a brief second. And I have a certain compassion because I've walked that shoe. I've walked that mile.
Right.
And in a way that if I hadn't had, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have any less, I have more understanding. I think that's the word than compassion. I have
Right.
more understanding because I've done it. And we need to approach whatever the circumstances or situation that may be different from what the Bible says. We have to come with understanding, whether you've walked in it or not.
Right.
We don't know what somebody else's life is like, or what they have been through, or what they had to face.
Right.
Well, when we went back to Indiana to be with his family, Christina and I went back to the town where she was born in, and it was tough. It was a really hard journey for me. It was an hour away from where we were staying. But Christina said to me, she goes, "Mom, I understood you a little bit more." And we went back and we went back to all the places that, we had lived and certain things, and this is where it was and everything, and things had changed so much. But it was difficult because she was the joy that came out of that.
Right.
But there was a lot of pain in that town for me. But it was healing to have it happen. But, somebody has to, the whole saying, walk a mile in my shoes. I think we need to walk 10 miles in somebody's shoes.
Right. To get a full understanding.
Yep. And I think we could be a lot more understanding. It doesn't mean that we need to waver our compass.
Right.
And what God is saying and waver that, but we need to walk with more understanding of that. and I think it would go a lot longer. I think it would be. There is one side to another of whatever thing it is. And whether you agree with me or not doesn't matter. At the end, we can still be friends. We can agree
Yeah.
to disagree and move on.
Right.
And I have my story.
Yeah.
You have your story. And it
Yeah.
needs to be told without hate coming behind it, going,
Right.
oh, well, this or that. There's too much of that. Let's get over
Right.
it. There's my little 2 cents.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I understand it was my fault. I shouldn't have been running inside the parish hall or whatever the circumstance was.
But, Alfonso, you're a grown man. No person should even be thinking of slapping you on the wrist that is not somebody that is related to you, that has. I mean, I wouldn't even think about doing it to my own daughter. She's a grown adult.
Right.
I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, because we have a disability, they can still treat us like we're children.
I mean, maybe if it was my grandbaby, I may tap them on the wrist a little bit, but if they were doing something they shouldn't be. But I don't even know if I would do that. I mean, it's just like, stop and talk to them.
Yeah.
They're people, they're individuals. Doesn't matter what, talk. You may learn something from them.
Yeah. And that from my experience, like I really got yelled at, and like chewed out, like that night, and I just wanted to cry and go.
When you've come through whatever it may be in your life, Alfonso, with certain circumstances or situations that you look back going, that was done wrong to me, or that was done wrong to me, or whatever it may be, realize that whatever you went through, how can you turn it into being an advocate
Right.
for how to treat somebody with a disability? There's some things I've gone through in my life going, Lord, why did I have to go through that? Some of it was my stupidity. I mean,
Yeah.
quite frankly. But some of it was out of my control.
Right.
And I can either choose to wallow in it, say, look, poor me, or I can sit
Right.
there saying, how can I take that and share it with others so that they don't have to go through that? And it
Right.
can be part of their survival guide.
Right.
So whatever that circumstance, situation, you have to say, when I went through it, I didn't like it. I don't want anybody else to feel that way.
Yeah.
So how can I take that and share it with the world so nobody does that to them?
Yeah. Yeah. And being blind, sometimes I feel like, yeah, what, no one trusts. Sometimes I feel like, nah, nobody doesn't. They don't really trust me or whatever because they're too scared of me falling, whatever.
But you're showing people how to treat somebody with a disability like you have.
Yeah.
I had to teach the world, well, not the world, but my little circle, how to treat Christina. When we first got Jordan, and I'll never forget it, we brought him to church.
Right.
And I remember people that knew that she had a disability. It was in the bulletin that he was going to be there. It was first Sunday. Please be reframed for the kids. Please be reframed of interacting with the dog and so forth and so on. And I remember going up to some people who knew we were getting Jordan.
Right.
And this one lady looked at me and said, why? She just, I can't remember the total response, but it was kind of like a sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, you don't have to understand why.
Right.
Please, just, you don't know my life. Would you like to come live it for 5 seconds? And I had all the people that thought I was not nuts, but they thought I was crazy trying to get Christina a service dog. It's one of the best things I ever did.
Right.
People going, why? And I'm like, I don't have to ask me why.
Right.
I saw improvements happening within just a very short period of time. So, you know, be an advocate and tell people how, this is how I was treated. It wasn't okay. So, this isn't how you need to treat somebody.
Right.
So, my question then would be in that circumstance or situation, and saying, this is what happened, this is what this lady did that was not okay. How would you have done that situation?
Well, as an individual, I would just talk to that individual, pull them to the side, and talk to them privately, let them know my concerns.
So if you were the in the situation with the lady,
Yeah.
and you were the person that saw it and was concerned for the safety of the other person, by sitting there and saying, this is what happened to me, I didn't like it, but this is how you should be doing it.
Right.
Now you're teaching others that are listening to your channel, this is what you should do. This is
Right.
how we want to be treated.
Right.
So see how you're changing that and taking it to something that wasn't great and turning it into good advice
Yeah.
for other people?
Yeah.
You're
Because
flipping it.
because I mean, especially in church, one thing I do need to understand. I gotta understand, my part. I need to do my part. I gotta be able to understand older ladies because older ladies, they tend to be more protective, more caring. I think if they get older, they tend to be more scared, more protective over you. And if they
Well,
see you with a disability, yeah, they're gonna wanna do whatever to protect you. Like
I think it's the culture that they may have been raised in. And I also think that it may be the time period. If they're in their 80s, were they involved with, maybe the Depression or in wartime where maybe
yeah,
they were handling things different? Maybe they've had a family member that had a disability that they can sit there and see or something happen. When somebody fusses at you because you're doing something that they think is dangerous, but you don't see it as dangerous,
right,
do what you're kind of doing with their fussing. Let them fuss. You know what I mean? Don't take it to here. I know it's hard not to,
right,
but realize that they may not. They're not sitting there. You don't know what's going on with their life.
right.
They could have.
And they
They
could
may
have
be
traumas. They might
going
have
through
past experience.
struggles,
Yeah,
and
they
you're
might have
just
past experience that I may not know. That I may
yeah.
not know
Or
myself.
that day they could have gotten some really terrible news, and you're just an outlet. And you're doing something dangerous, and they're already tired and frustrated, and you're just it. And
Yeah,
so I'm not saying that that's right, but taking a time to look at it through their lens and their glasses can sometimes be helpful.
right. And try to understand. One thing I do need to understand is that you know, they're at an age. Sometimes like I don't know, like maybe because they have lost someone, and after losing someone, well, losing a loved one, they tend to be more protective over someone, their remaining loved ones that are younger than them. Maybe I don't. I may be wrong.
Yeah, but one thing you can do too with whoever it is when they get done fussing, because
Yeah.
sometimes people just need to fuss. When they get done fussing, you can say, listen, I really appreciate your concern. And I know that you're worried, and I didn't see whatever the hazard was or what have you. But if you are concerned for me, can you come to me with a little bit softer spirit? I would listen better, and I would really appreciate it, because that's how I'm going to do. I'm going to hear it better, and I'm going to absorb it better. So you
Right.
can, after they get done doing whatever they're doing, then you can come and say, I would prefer, if
Right.
you see me doing something that you see as dangerous, I don't want to upset you. I don't want you to worry about me. I really appreciate your concern and worry for me, but I need you to approach me like this, and I will absolutely take it to heart 110%. I do already, but this would be easier for me to handle. They've you have the right to speak up for yourself in a pleasurable manner and say that's acceptable,
Yeah.
that's not. That's what I'm going to tolerate, that's what I'm not going to tolerate.
Because I remember in my old neighborhood in Denver, I was just on my daily walks until I was crossing the street, and then I did not know that I almost got hit by two cars until this lady comes out of her house. She starts yelling at me and say, "Hey, you, come here! I need to talk to you." And then and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my God, what did I do? I'm in trouble already." Yeah, yep, got in trouble. And you know what happened? She started yelling at me. And listen, my husband was killed in a hit and run 5 years ago, and she told me the way I saw you cross that street, you almost got hit.
Well, and then she's if that's it, she probably has PTSD from
Yeah,
that, and it was a flashback. So take that for what it is.
yeah,
I mean, when my dad and I had a very, very difficult relationship, and when Christina came into play, I just lovingly said to my dad, "Dad, I love you, and I'll be here, and I'll stay here." And I did for many years and helped my mom and dad out, and we all lived together. It was really best for Christina.
right,
But I very much said to my dad, "I love you, but if you treat me in the manner in which you treat my daughter, in the manner in which you treated me, I'm gone. I will take whatever I can take with me. I will get on wherever, you will never know where I am." And I hate to do that to Mom. I don't want to do that to her. But we're gone. And if I have to live in a little single, studio little apartment someplace in
right,
Oshbosh Begosh, nobody will know where I am, because I won't have my daughter go through what she did, what I went through with you. And
right,
he did. We let him be fun grandpa. But I stood up and said, "This will not be accepted. Period. I love you." I did it in a very respectful manner, and I loved him, and I'm grateful that, he got to be that fun grandpa. But I set my boundaries up and said,
right,
"This is not going to be acceptable, Dad. I love you." And he knew I'd do it. He knew I'd leave, and they would never hear from me again.
right,
And I didn't want to do that, but I had to make sure that my daughter was protected. And she has wonderful memories with my dad. And I'm so glad.
yeah,
So you have a right to say, "I understand your concern. I hear you." Because people that come and fuss, I did this as a customer service and cashier for years. They need to fuss. Let them fuss.
yeah,
But then you have the right to say, "I hear you, but can you come at me this way? I would really prefer it." You know, and you have a right to say that. You have a right to stand up nicely, and you can do it. I know you can.
yeah. And after she told me, she told me, you know what? If I catch you again like that again, you're gonna be in so much trouble with me.
Well, she
And
cared.
I tell you know what, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did not see the car coming. And like, no, 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 no. Sorry doesn't cut it. So, I learned I need to be more sensitive.
Absolutely. Doing good.
Yeah, so that's that's the part I need to work on, being more sensitive with older people.
You got this. Are you gonna? It's almost about 11 o'clock. I hate to
Yeah,
cut this short tonight, but I'm gonna have to. Is there another song you want to lead us out on?
yeah, I'm gonna, let me see.
Sandy Wandy Spaghetti and Spaghetti Squash that got me hungry. I haven't eaten since 2 o'clock this afternoon. I
I'm
make
gonna,
that cottage cheese and cheese dip, and I'm telling you, that fills me for hours.
wow.
Cottage cheese, and you mix some taco seasoning in it, and you add some cheese to it, and I'm telling you, I have that, and I can be full for hours. Because
I'm
there's a
gonna play
great
one more
protein in it.
song. Adios, Reina del Cielo. I'm gonna close out.
Great job.
All right, thank you all.
And you're doing one next week?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're doing Christmas Connection on my channel every day this month. So next
Okay.
week we'll do the same thing, and I'll if you put it up, I will redirect people over to you
All right, thank
tomorrow
you.
or next Saturday. So we'll see you for more Christmas songs.
Yep.
Everybody have a great day, great night wherever you are. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Bye bye,
Christmas. Feliz
Alfonso. See you
Navidad.
next week.